From the studios of the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association in Fort Myers, Florida, this is the Royal Palmcast, the show about people and things that realtors, home buyers, and home sellers care about. And now, here's your host, Jim Sanville.
Hello and welcome to the Royal Palmcast. This is the show about people and things that realtors, home buyers, and home sellers care about. We're coming to you today from the production studios of the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association in Fort Myers, Florida, where it's another spectacular day, isn't it, Jerry?
It's beautiful.
I'm telling you, our endless summer in Southwest Florida continues. And but now that we're heading into the final weeks of the hurricane season, so we'll have that behind us soon. And although the season seems to be picking up a bit, I'm seeing a few out-of-state license plates. The snowbirds are coming back. Have you noticed?
Yes, I have noticed, especially in the commutes to and from work.
Yeah, this will be my first tourist season in Southwest Florida. Will it get worse, Jerry? How's that going to be?
Yes, it typically picks up a little bit more when the true influx comes down. So, yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I bet the restaurants are crowded too, right?
It's just going to get more and more crowded.
We love it.
But we need them.
We love the snowbirds. They're really important to the economy.
Of course.
They buy houses, vacation homes, and we've got realtors out there listening today who are prepared to help them no matter what their needs. So today we are going to speak with a very special guest, someone who is on our staff here, someone we get the pleasure of seeing every single day, Mr. Matt Magowan. Welcome, Matt.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Matt is the Director of MLS. Is that the official title? Did I get it right?
I think something like that.
MLS Director. Yeah, that's who you are. So, Matt, let's start off by learning a little bit about you. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from originally, and what's kind of your professional background?
Oh, well, actually, I'm a Florida native.
Really?
So I'm from Anna Maria Island, a little bit north. Right? Beautiful area. And my background, well, I've been in the industry since, really, truthfully, 2002. I started on the mortgage side. Still maintained my license there, and then eventually drifted over to the real estate side, and I was an active agent for several years.
Interesting. Anna Maria, that's got to be a beautiful place to grow up and spend your childhood years.
Oh, it's paradise.
Yeah. I don't know how you left, but it's beautiful here, too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole side of the state, really.
Yeah,
Southwest Florida in general is gorgeous.
I love the Gulf Coast. It's fantastic. Now, I'm going to pretend I'm ignorant here, Matt, which is not much of a stretch. I got to be honest with you. No snickering, Jerry. No snickering.
I won't snicker.
Okay. So I don't know anything about MLS, Matt. Tell me what it is.
Well, it stands for the Multiple Listing Service, and it's what brokers can use to list all of their current listings, homes for sale, for compensation.
How long has it been around?
Years, Jerry.
Many years.
Jerry. Years, Jim.
Many
I
years.
can tell you, before my time, for sure.
Okay.
Well before 78, 77-ish, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's multiple listing with no S service, right?
Correct.
Multiple listing service, because you hear multiple listings service a lot, don't you?
You do, yeah, you do.
That's the way I've heard it.
It's like realtor. You hear that too sometimes. But now, how is it structured? Is there this is not the right word, but is there a franchise subset of the national MLS, or how is it structured?
So there is no national MLS. Every MLS is actually local. There's always a strive to push towards that, but you never know. And every MLS can be local depending on the area. So depending on the size, how many members they have, it breaks it down that way. For example, we have 3 just in our Southwest Florida area.
Really?
All one part of one MLS, but 3 different boards, right? So it totally depends on what board has what MLS.
Okay. Now, how many are there in Florida total?
Oh, gosh.
Roughly? Dozens, hundreds?
At least on this side of the state, there are definitely 3 MLSs.
So MLS is something a realtor has to have? Can you be a realtor and sell houses without access to MLS? Or how does that work?
It would be quite difficult, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And you can't actually be a realtor, you know? I don't want to add the extra syllable because Jerry will
be careful there. We're watching you, Matt.
Yeah.
The grammar police.
It is. But you can't be one without being a member of an association, which you have to join the MLS to be one. So,
makes sense.
Technically, you don't get that title. You can be a sales associate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So what exactly does MLS do for a realtor? Let's say somebody comes to me. I'm a realtor. They want to buy a house. What do I do now?
So what you'll do with that is you'll take that listing and you'll populate it into our multiple listing service. Mm-hmm. You enter in all the information, size, square footage, how many beds, baths, upload the photos. You put your property description in, so it's your little advertisement piece. And then in the confidential section, you can tell agents what they need to know when showing the home. And what that'll do is that'll disperse out onto our matrix or onto our MLS where other realtors can see that. Also, it syndicates out to, there's thousands of websites, big ones being Zillow. What are the other ones? Zillow's the hugest one, right?
Realtor.com.
They kind of absorbed everything, right? Realtor.com. So it syndicates.
Okay. Yeah. How granular can the information be?
As far as what?
How many variables or attributes of a piece of property could there be? How many?
You can get really detailed. It's a great question. You can get down to square footage, property line, easements. You can even get down to if I want to looking if it's in a certain flood zone. You can get really detailed in your searches.
Okay. Are there photos in MLS?
Sure are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they list all the property photos, which then will syndicate to those major websites.
Personal question. Somebody happened to ask me yesterday. They said, I want to sell my house, and I gave the realtor a picture, a beautiful photo of my property. I thought she could use it in the listing, but they wouldn't take it because it was vertical. And I said, I'm going to guess this is an MLS requirement based on how this is set up, how the MLS system is set up. Is that true? Is it horizontal photos only, for example?
I have not seen a vertical photo,
okay.
to be quite frank, unless maybe they need something tall, if it's, like, say, a condo, skyscraper kind of tall building. Gotcha. But what you want in the photo is to represent a true and accurate picture of the property, right? So that's what you want to present in the listing, is a true and accurate picture of the listing. Because you don't want to mislead any of the public.
Yeah, of course not. Now, how difficult is it for a new realtor, to get up to speed with using MLS to its maximum potential?
What's great about it is it's pretty intuitive. There's lots of search features. We offer lots of training classes, which is really great. As a matter of fact, your first MLS orientation touches on the basics that you need to know to get started.
Okay. And is it paid through an annual fee?
Right through your dues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't be simpler, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. So you must have some pretty powerful tracking tools at your disposal that are kind of on the admin side, the super user side, right? Maybe that the realtors don't see, or do you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have a ton of back-end tools that are pretty fantastic that give us statistical data, some of which the brokers and agents can access themselves through market reports, some of which are just pure internal. Some are also security measures, too, which we can see quite a bit of interesting things, which we can get into detail sometime if you'd like.
Yeah. I'd love to. Tell me this, Matt. When you're using MLS, is this something that the realtor can share with a client directly, or do they have to kind of paraphrase the information?
There are client portals, so you can set up searches, and can send properties directly via email to your clients. We also have another mobile app which you can send the properties via that way as well, right to their phone. So it makes it more convenient, right, for them to use. Other than that...
So is this new?
It is, yes.
Because I hadn't heard of this. What is it called?
It's called MLS Touch.
Okay.
One of our new apps.
When did that come out?
We launched that really this month is our big launch for it. Yeah, we had some trial months here and there to work out some bugs, but it's fantastic.
So what kind of response have you had, or is it too new to tell?
It's been great response, and hopefully through marketing it some this week, we'll get a little more feedback. But I haven't really gotten any negative feedback. We've had a few minor corrections, which was great because they were able to correct it right then within that week.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to be pushing in our marketing and communication efforts coming up real soon, including our Facebook, social media, and our member weekly newsletter.
Yes, everyone should take a look at it.
Yeah.
Definitely to your advantage and a great way to up your business game.
Yeah, it's such a mobile world we're living in. Right. I think people live on their phones. I know I do. So it's going to be great. I'm sure people will love that. Now, how has MLS changed over the years? It must have evolved and become better and better.
Well, yeah, you used to have a book.
Oh, that's
paper book.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And
I forgot.
You'd have to go through and pencil in. There's been lots of changes. biggest would be the data itself, right? So you can take those metrics and really work them as an agent or as a broker to your advantage to really help boost your game, boost your level up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I remember when I bought my first house, I think in the late 80s, the realtor sent me photocopies of what I assume is the MLS listing, and he'd send them by snail mail, every couple of weeks. Hey, check out these properties. But boy, things are so much better now in terms of how quickly you get it. Yeah.
The speed and the ease of use is there. So, and that's the biggest goal, is to make it more intuitive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, what do you do in a typical day's work, Matt? What's your work day look like?
Well, when they ask me to come in, I come on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, wait, well.
No, it's pretty full, and it really varies. But the main thing is my main objective is to look after our MLS, which is our data, right? Which is what makes us competitive MLS.
Data integrity, or
data integrity, security, making sure that, let's say, the sites that our data syndicates to is displaying them correctly. Realtor.com, Zillow, basically every site. We want to make sure that what we're presenting and what the broker and agent are presenting on the MLS is being carried through to other sites.
Somewhere I'm envisioning a big black box. Maybe it's in the cloud where the central repository is for all the listings. Where is that?
Exactly. So
who knows?
But what I can tell you is that we're required to retain the records for a certain amount of years, right? So there are servers where it's all maintained, and that information doesn't go away, right? So we've had, I can go back as far as the MLS internet-wise was created and see whatever listing was input.
Really? So 20 years ago?
Basically.
Wow.
As long as with our system that we're using now, right? So it depends on the product, right? Because the MLS has evolved, or the actual software itself has changed vendor to vendor, right?
So who is it who maintains the software? Let's say there's a bug in the system, in the database. Who is it that goes in and fixes that?
Our vendor name is called CoreLogic. Right, and so that's who we work with on the back end to maintain that data.
They're specific to our association or to MLS as a whole?
To specifically our association.
Okay.
Right? And to, I would say, the other few that work with CoreLogic and use our matrix our matrix MLS.
Gotcha. Now, when a new realtor is starting out, what kind of tips would you offer them to get the most out of MLS?
Take the classes.
Classes?
That's your biggest advantage. That'll teach you the basics, and then as you grow, you can take the more advanced classes.
Mm-hmm. And those are offered right here at the...
association,
both
correct.
In Cape Coral and Fort Myers.
Correct, absolutely, to make it more convenient for you.
And we still currently have a third location down South Fort Myers.
South Fort Myers, that's right.
And some of the classes are actually free.
Actually,
some are
free.
not. Some are not.
And I'll tell you, too, there's a lot of tips and tricks. There's video right there on Matrix. You can go right into the help section. There's videos on how to already uploaded. So we have quite a bit of media. So if you're not a classroom environment kind of person, you want to do it yourself, there's quite a bit out there to self-educate.
So even after a member checks out all that educational, all the resources available to them, they still must have questions from time to time. Which ones do you tend to hear most often, or do others?
Well, typically the way it works is you can call in, right? So we have a whole staff, MLS staff, that can help you. And the general questions, most of the staff can answer right away. I usually get the more difficult ones that take a week or two of research to fix. But I can tell you, in general, we get quite a bit of questions like on limited services, the difference between withdrawn and terminated, and those kind of things.
Gotcha. All right. Now, I think we are... Do I hear music, Jerry?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. I do hear music.
Jim starts dancing, the music's coming in.
That means we're coming right up on a break here. We're talking with Matt Magowan, who's the MLS director here at the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association in sunny Fort Myers, Florida. And we'll be right back after this.
Are you a realtor in the Fort Myers, Florida area, or thinking of becoming one? If so, you should know that the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association is here to support you. Sure, we offer access to the multiple listing service, But that's just the beginning. We also offer certification classes, exclusive online tools, and a peer network of over 7,000 local realtors and business partners. We also operate a Realtor store with signage, lockboxes, maps, and other Realtor essentials at our locations in Fort Myers, South Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Our advocacy arm, RPAC, works to make sure your voice is heard in Washington, Tallahassee, and at the local level. We speak out on issues important to the real estate industry, like water quality, private property rights, and tax matters. Realtors from throughout Lee County, Florida, and beyond count on the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association to help keep them at the top of their game. If you're a realtor or an aspiring realtor in the Fort Myers area, you'll want to take advantage of all we have to offer. Contact us today. You can start by visiting our website, rpcra.org, or by following us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. The Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association is here for you. Hi, this is Matt Magowan, and you're listening to the Royal Palmcast. As we strive to continue providing our Realtor members with the resources and tools they need for success, we wanted to make you aware of 3 brand new MLS services: MLS Touch, e-commissions, and MLS Showing Time. Make sure to check out our Facebook page for more detailed information on what these services provide, and of course, all the other valuable resources, classes, and events the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association has to offer. At RPCRA, we're committed to the success of all members. That's who we are.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We are back here at the Royal Palmcast in Fort Myers, Florida, with Matt Magowan, who is Director of MLS.
I like that music.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's such a jaunty tune. It makes you want to stand up and dance every time. All I can do to restrain myself, but somehow I keep my dancing shoes parked in the corner.
Yeah.
Was that what?
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, well,
Now, if you could just control the singing, that'd be great.
I'm going to work on that, man. I'll tell you what.
I always ask you. I say, Jim, who sings that song? And then you tell me, and I say, yeah, keep it that way.
Well,
but then you don't.
Now, Matt, we're on the air, right? The folks can hear us right now. Matt, just a couple more questions before we get into the fun part of the show, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. I want to ask you about, we took a couple of notes before the show began, and you said that a couple of the topics that are kind of out there right now, people are talking about and need to know more about. One of the notes is pre-construction definitions, new pre-under construction definitions. What is that all about?
So it's how you're actually titling the listing when you're entering it. So, for example, if it's pre-construction, a permit's got to be pulled on the lot. So if you're listing the lot and you want to say, okay, this is pre-construction, I've got a builder, they're going to put a home on the lot, then you must have a permit pulled. Under construction, the difference with that, the construction's already started, but there's no certificate of occupancy yet. Right? So that's going to come, the certificate of occupancy is going to come at the end, once the building's completed.
And these are all things that are noted in the MLS listing? In
the MLS listing, right. So
okay.
As you're inputting it and what you choose.
Okay.
And then the last one would be the new construction. So what that is now you've got that final stage, that certificate of occupancy, but it's never been lived in. So now you have the home, it's all right there, ready to go.
And this is a big change, I take it? Or?
The biggest change would be to have that the permit must be pulled. That's kind of the biggest change with it. But in this area, new construction is a huge piece. So it's important for our members to understand that.
Gotcha. Now, another question I have is, tell me what happens when a listing expires. Does all the data go away? Or? So
it's still there, but the key to that, and we get a lot of calls about that actually, because once the listing actually expires, the agent's locked out of being able to make changes. Okay, so the key to that, the best advice I'd give the agent is take a look at your listing, make sure you know your expiration date, and if you need to extend it, all you simply do is go back to your seller and get an extension.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if it expires, you'd have to call into the association to make the extension, but you still need the paperwork to give us, because that's actually, it's not the MLS's listing, it's your broker's listing, so we can't make those corrections without signed documentation. So that's the biggest thing. Now, the difference between that and a withdrawn listing, or a terminated listing, that was your question, right? Expired or terminated?
Yeah.
Terminated is where the seller says, okay, we've run our course, I no longer wish to list the listing, then it terminates out. But the broker is the one who actually has to go in and terminate the listing. Okay, because again, it is owned by the broker, that listing. If for some reason your broker is out of town, simply can't do it, we can help you here, but we do need that paperwork.
Gotcha. Now we live in an area here in Southwest Florida where floods are a concern. Flood maps are in front of everyone's mind. How does MLS support flood map information?
So you know what's great about the flood maps when you're on the MLS? Our new Matrix 360 update that just happened over the summer, it's right there. You can click. Once you click that listing, you can go right there and it's a flood map tab. You can look and tell right there if it's on a flood map. It really makes it easy for an agent, and it's a lot easier for the agent's buyer to know exactly what they're getting into insurance-wise.
And I'm sure they're right up to speed, right up their current, because there have been some recent changes, right? In the
what I would tell you is FEMA updates the maps when they want to update the maps, right? So we did just have an update, but I always advise everyone, make sure you double-check. It is an environment where you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence for your client.
Ultimately, it's the realtor, the home buyer, who are responsible for making sure everything's going to pass muster with insurance companies.
The accuracy of that data, because we're basing that data off of what's being listed through property appraiser site,
right.
And however that's updated. So it's a base guide for you, which is a really great way to search for property.
There's another term I've heard in relation to MLS, Matt, limited service listing. What is that?
That's when you have your seller tell you, you know what, I do want you to list my home, but not on the MLS. I don't want it syndicated to all the sites. I just want it just in my neighborhood. You can put a sign up, we can do open houses, but it's not to be on the MLS.
So it's listed, but it's not.
Right, correct. And at that point, all you need is a simple non-participation form, which is right there on the MLS under the links tab.
So what type of seller would be in the market for that sort of a non-listing listing?
You know, that all depends on the seller. You know, every seller has kind of a different reason for how they want to market their home and how they want to sell it, but it's just another option for them.
It could be driven by a desire for privacy, or
absolutely could be
higher end celebrity owners, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It can be that. But the biggest point, I think, to our members is that they have that flexibility to provide that so they can still capture their business.
Awesome, Matt. You're doing great work there with the MLS. I've heard it from lots of folks around here.
Oh, thank you.
And guess what, Matt? This is the part you've been waiting for. This is my favorite part of the program. This is our lightning round. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So in the lightning round, just to let the folks know, I'm going to ask you about some of your favorite things, some of your personal and professional opinions. Now, this is where we really get to know you, Matt. So right now, I'm going to ask Jerry to hand me the official 3x5 game show host index cards that have today's lightning round questions. Jerry.
Here you go, Jim.
Thank you very much, Jerry. That's very kind of you to keep those safe.
Jim, what are you putting on your head? What is this huge turban? What are you doing?
You're thinking of Karnak. You've been listening to Johnny Carson on the Sirius XM channel again, haven't you, Matt?
I have.
All right. No, I'm not Karnak. And he's not Ed. But so here come the lightning round questions, and we're looking for soundbite responses here, Matt. Nothing too elaborate. So, you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. When's the last time you saw snow?
10 years ago.
Where?
Chicago.
Where would you live if not in Florida?
Denver, Colorado.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Ooh, no doubt about that one. All right, this one, Matt, is multiple choice. You guys, use, or y'all?
Y'all.
Florida boy, of course. What's your go-to social media platform?
I'm older, so Facebook.
Facebook, all right. And what's your guilty pleasure? Do you have any?
Snickers.
Oh, strong. Now I want to hear about some of your favorites. Your favorite TV show?
Oh, gosh.
I'm not familiar with that. Is George Burns in that? No.
I don't think I have.
Movie?
Godfather.
Strong. 2, 1, 3?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. 2 is my favorite. How about your favorite food, Matt?
Pasta.
Really? I would have figured you for a pizza guy.
Well, I love pasta.
I know you do. All right. Favorite day of the week?
Monday.
Breakfast food?
Pancakes.
Book?
The culture agent.
There you go. Holiday.
Christmas.
And your favorite form of recreation?
Relaxing at the beach.
Nice. Perfect place for that. Changing the subject here, Matt. Socks with sandals, yes or no?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Who's your personal hero?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
That's a fair answer.
Probably Gary Vaynerchuk.
All right. That's strong. Do you do any imitations? If so, do them now.
I do, but that's another show.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I'll respect that. Now, I hold in my hand the very last lightning round question. You get one bucket list item, Matt. What is it?
One bucket list item. That's it?
Just one.
Skydiving.
Oh, nice. All right, Matt. Now, if folks want to reach out to you, learn more about MLS, about you, what you do, how do they contact you?
You just call the association here. You can also email me at Matt, M-A-T-T, at RPCRA.org.
Nice. Matt at RPCRA.org. And if you would like to connect with us here at the Royal Palmcast, you can do so by sending an email to shows@rpcra.org. I want to thank our producer and director of marketing and communications, Jerry Johnson, along with our CEO, Beata Jones, and the entire staff of the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association here in Fort Myers, Florida, for all of the help and support. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Royal Palmcast. Tune in again for more episodes and make sure to check out our sister podcast, Realtor Riff Rap, and our video news show, Realtors Corner, which can be found on the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association Facebook page and YouTube channel. Sponsorship opportunities for these programs and more coming soon. So stay connected with RPCRA and stay tuned. This has been a production of the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association.